Welcome to this edition of Mind the Business with Darwin Strong and Ernie Castello. Mind the Business is a show designed to help you, the startup business, small business, and the entrepreneur cope with this very tough and sometimes confusing world of business. And now, here are Darwin and Ernie with today's guest, Sanjay Dalal.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Mind the Business. I'm Darwin, and sitting next to me is...
I'm Ernie Castello, and we have a special guest today. Tell us about him.
Darwin. Oh, yeah, we've got Sanjay Dalal. He's founder and CEO of oGoing Incorporated. You know that place, oGoing, on the website. Mm-hmm. I think we're a part of it. Great small business social media website. I love it. He's also the chief innovator of innovationmaine.com, social media entrepreneur, innovation consultant, and author, speaker, and community volunteer. How you doing, Sanjay?
I'm doing awesome, and I'm really appreciative of this opportunity. Quite grateful that you guys have called me here today, and I thank you.
You're welcome. It's good to have you here.
Could you tell us a little bit about oGoing?
Absolutely. So oGoing is an interesting thing that I started about 4 years ago. And as we all know, that social media hence, has grown quite a bit. But think about it back at the height of the recession. This is summer of 2009. And here I am, having my accounts on Twitter and, Facebook and LinkedIn and everywhere else you can think of. There used to be those things called Plexo and Facebook. I mean, MySpace as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, look, all these things are great, but what is the business doing when it comes to social media? I think if you think back, social media, a lot of it, had to do with, people like you and me, and, how we interacted, how we connected, how we found friends, old friends, new friends, and then friends. And that's how, and we had a site called Friendster, if you remember, right? So all those things were happening, but I said, look, there isn't really a platform that, connects businesses. And even within that, I'm very passionate about the small business. I've been a small business entrepreneur myself. Believe it or not, oGoing is my 7th startup since I moved to California in 1997. So go have it. But I said, look, what can we do? What can I do to really represent and promote, America's heart and soul, which is the small business. So that's where the awakening happened. That's where the light bulbs went on. I said, look, what I need to create is this amazing social network and a social media marketing platform for small business.
We're members of it, and it's really quite unique. I think it's totally different than your normal run-of-the-mill social media sites, and be able to connect with other businesses and other small businesses, and to be able to find out what they're doing and what's going on. It's just a great site.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the jackpot right there. What's going on? That's our moniker. oGoing is about what's going on. Within the small business enterprise, with our entrepreneurs, with our, sole proprietors. And that's a huge audience. Most people don't know that, but we have 28 million small businesses in the U.S. alone. And I was like, wow, if oGoing can help even a million of that would be a huge kick. So that's my goal. My goal is to get to 1 million first before I get to 28 million.
Okay, so and the thing is, a lot of these small businesses they don't know how to use social media marketing. I mean, there's, like you said, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter. Right. So what did you find? I know you did a lot of research. So what did you find about small businesses and social media?
That's a great point. I think the biggest challenge a small business has, and I'm one of them, is, we are so deadly focused on running the business, operating the business, and bringing home the dough, if you may, the next day. Marketing doesn't come naturally to them. It's all about managing your day-to-day business, your customers and your employees, if you have grown. So marketing is like unfortunately a stepchild for most of the businesses. So it's almost like you have to teach them how to market themselves, how to promote what they do. And they are not self-promoters by any chance. or by any means. So my goal is to create the easiest platform that a small business can have, where they simply go to oGoing, set up a profile which takes less than 5 minutes, and start sharing their stories, their products, their services, if they have deals or offers going on, for the week or for the month, if they are hosting an event. And one of the new things we added is, what are their needs? What is it that they need to be, more successful? But again, the challenge is always going to be, are they going to be sharing it? And what I found is that was not the case on other social networks. For example, let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter is a great network, where you can share anything and everything in 140 characters or less. But the challenge with Twitter is I look at that as a huge ocean with 300, 400 million users, and probably much more now. And now imagine a new small business joins Twitter. I mean, they're like a small fish in a big ocean. And when they say something, nobody even listens. So I said, that doesn't make sense. Then, a business, when they join Twitter, they're going to be lost. Instead, if they come on oGoing, I'm going to make them feel like kings. I'm going to make them feel like the big fish. And when they promote something and share, everybody's going to see what they're doing. And they will want to connect because they resonate. They realize, like, look, this is another business man or woman or entrepreneur who is similar to what I am. And they have similar passions. So that was the gist of making this, network. And by the same token, the other networks, yes, they do cater to small businesses at some level. But the challenge is always, my dad always said, don't mix business with pleasure. So when you have, your own personal side, that you are sharing, with your close friends, things like what you did yesterday or the weekend. And now, in the same network, if I'm also sharing my business, very soon I'm going to piss off my friends, and before I know it, I'll be neither here nor there. So I said, what you need is really a business-to-business social network that really connects and where people come here for business.
Well, how important is social media for a small business?
It's hugely important. And it has changed quite a bit, right? From where it was 4 years ago to where it is today. I mean, social media to me is passion, right? When you are a small business, I mean, when you share your story and when people hear that story and then they talk about that story and they like that story and then they share it with their friends. That's what social media is all about. It has always been there. But, that used to be face to face. Now we have done this online. That's what oGoing does. It's all about sharing your story in a way which is human, which talks about, what you're going through, that talks about, what your needs are. And then when you do that, our goal at oGoing is to make sure that story is heard by as many businesses as we can, as many entrepreneurs as they can, as many startups as they can, and that's what makes it great.
I'm a member of Facebook and oGoing, and the thing I really like about oGoing is the fact that it's really focused on businesses, whereas Facebook, I'm getting a lot of things from friends. Well, I'm here, I'm at 7-Eleven, and I'm getting a Coke, and here's a picture of my Coke, and it's. And I have nothing against that. It's just a lot of information that it's just almost too much information. Yes. But the thing about oGoing is the fact that you can learn and read about what other small business people are doing and where they're going and how they're maybe dealing with certain things. Yes. And even promote your business on oGoing. And I have done that, and I've gotten quite a good response with that. So it's very helpful.
And we are still not done. The journey has only begun, right? I mean, I look at oGoing as in kind of the baseball game. We are still in the first inning.
In the first inning.
So my goal is to add even more value to what we have created, but not at the cost of making it complex. I hear what you're saying with Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I love Facebook. It has helped me connect with a lot of my school friends. As some of you know, I'm from India originally. And believe it or not, I've connected with almost 100 school friends from my primary school onwards all the way to high school. and I think Facebook has been great for doing that. But the challenge is, as Facebook has grown and as they have tried to mix up the business part with your friends part, here I'm seeing all these things on my timeline. And I'm like, I don't know if I signed up for that. And I'm seeing all these advertisements, when I log into it, there's a huge column of advertisements now on your right-hand side. I mean, there's just so much coming at you. And I'm like, the next thing I know is I missed out the birthday of my friend's son. And I, and he had posted photos and I totally missed. I'm like, how did that happen? So now I realize why it happened, because what has happened is there's so much information coming at you that now you don't know what to look at, what not to. And so whereas what we have done in the oGoing is we have stayed with the focus of promoting and sharing what the businesses are doing, right?
Okay.
And I think, so when people join, when companies join on oGoing, when organizations join, they know that they're joining, a community, of like-minded entrepreneurs, like-minded startups, all aspiring to get bigger. And that's the best part. And we think we have a platform that can help them, be successful in the long term.
Good. When you have a small company and you just started it up, you really are lost at the fact of how am I going to work this social media marketing? How can I use it to advertise that I'm here?
Right.
Because in reality, it's a pretty inexpensive way to get your name out there and your product or your service out there. What could you tell us about the small business social media marketing aspects that would get somebody started?
Well, it's as inexpensive as free, actually.
Like
it doesn't get better than that. and the reason to keep it free was manifold. One is I wanted to build the community, and I want to share something great. Now the oGoing community caters to over 10,000 entrepreneurs, which is, phenomenal, considering that this is all grassroots driven. I admit in the sense of, it's a lot of sweat, a lot of, equity that I've put into it with my team, of course, of engineers, and a lot of support from the local community, which believe in the story of oGoing. And I wanted to keep it free because I wanted to build that platform. So, I was learning along the way, right? As I was making it better and better, I was also learning, like, what is it that the business likes? What is it that they don't like? Then let me make sure what they like. Let me do a little more of that. So we have been iterating ever since, trying to make it better and better. Actually, last year, we launched an iPhone app. So now you can share, what's going on directly from your iPhone. And you can share everything, your products, your services, offers, and so on. Not only that, as new businesses join on oGoing, you can see who they are and connect with them right at the tap of your finger, right through your phone. And we are now building out the app for the Android platform, because a lot of people love the iPhone app. There you go. I see the Android phone being pointed at me. So absolutely. So that's coming up next. And that's what we want to do. We want to create a value where we are able to, provide everything, at the fingertips of a small business. All they do is share and promote themselves.
That's great.
So how can a small business maximize the use of social media?
That's a great question, Ernie. I think many times a lot of small businesses, they join any social network, not just oGoing, with the thought that if you build it, they will come. The field of dreams.
Exactly.
And the problem with that is you got to build it, you got to manage it, you got to rip it, you got to keep on growing it. And I think that's a challenge. So we, a lot of times, by that I mean they create a profile and then they don't do anything. And to me, a profile is like an empty storefront. You have your signage, but nobody is there. Then who is going to come and do business with you? So my biggest advice, or I would say request to small business owners out there is, don't choose so many channels. Stick with one or two. and of course oGoing, and make sure you continue. Make sure you don't give up. Start sharing, start connecting with other businesses, promote what other businesses are doing. Don't just promote yourself all the time. I think that's the key with social media. It's not so much about self promotion. It's also about high-fiving what somebody else is saying. That's the way humans work.
Exactly.
If you promote others and you share what others are saying, then others will come back and promote what you are doing. So I think that habit has to be even more I would say engaging in the social media sense. Once you have established what I call the credence or the trust, that's when you can call Ernie up and say, hey Ernie, what do you think? Do you think you're ready to try out my product? And I think by that time Ernie knows you so well, he's going to say, of course, let's do it.
Exactly. All right, well, hold on to that thought. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back right after this.
Champions for small business. Here's Darwin and Ernie and Mind the Business.
Hello, everybody. We're back with Sanjay Dalal, founder and CEO of oGoing.com. So, Sanjay, we were talking about how small businesses could use social media more effectively. The one thing you were talking about is also high-fiving other businesses.
Yes.
And so is that by liking what they post, and how much more effective is it when you add a comment?
Absolutely. I think liking is, I would say, the most basic form of, I would say, interaction. Because when somebody says something and you like, that's a good starting point. But I think for more engagement, it's always a good idea. And oGoing provides two things. One is that you can reply directly to the business. So we have a reply built in, and then we also have a comment. So comment is a public comment, and I think they're both very effective, because when you do that, what happens is the business that posted the update, it gets notified immediately saying this this customer of yours, or this connection has now just replied or commented on what you just said, and now they are now essentially asked to engage by replying back. So that's how the interactions happen. It's kind of like you calling somebody, and if you're just saying a lot and the only thing the other person says is yeah, that's kind of your like. But when the other person responds to you and now adds a comment, that's kind of your social interaction happening now. And the only thing is it's not as real time, but that's the best part of social media. If you reply today, maybe the person who is expecting the comment will reply back to you in the evening, and that's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying to small businesses out there is make sure you go back and engage. Many a time when they share something, they forget to go back and even see what they had posted. Because it could just very well be that a customer that was showing a lot of interest replied to you or commented on what you said, and now you missed out on a really good lead. So that's part of the learning, right? That's kind of what I educate a lot of businesses through some of my social media workshops as to how to go back and review what's going on.
Well, my Facebook page, I have over 1,700 friends.
Right.
Wow.
And
that many?
At the end,
Do you know all of them, Ernie?
most of them.
Most of them.
But
He's having a big party next week. He's inviting him all over to his house.
I didn't get the invitation, so I'm not in that.
But the one thing, you can't read everybody's news feed at every day. So what are the best times, if you're a small business, what are the best times to post?
That actually is the $1 million question, as they say. What is the best time to post? And I've done a lot of research on that, because oGoing, of course, we manage and grow oGoing.com, but part of it is I had a lot of learning to do myself. So oGoing has a very strong presence, as you know, on Facebook, on Facebook.com oGoing, on Twitter, we are on LinkedIn, Google+, and so we have done our own analysis as to what is the best time. And from what I know from experiences, and I would say limited to small businesses, is really, kind of late morning, so between the hours of, let's say, 9 a.m., through, before afternoon, like between 9 to 11:30 or so. And then, you want to not do anything for a while till kind of late afternoon, so after 4. Because, what we have found is the middle part of the day is kind of where everybody is really focused on their work. And they don't have a lot of time, checking what's happening in the social media world. So kind of I would say late morning, a little bit early afternoon, maybe around 4 or so. And then if you want to target, your audience after they have gone home, I would occasionally also share something kind of in the late evening, but not every time. Don't expect a lot of interaction with those. But sometimes, people have had their dinners, they've done their family time, and now they're going back to their, laptops or tablets and checking, the updates. That's always a good time. And nowadays everybody's watching TV with their laptops and tablets in the lab. So it is fair to say that you'll catch them, at that time as well. Yeah.
So social media marketing, I mean, that is the ramifications of that, of being able to go worldwide with your marketing. Mm-hmm. Not that the services that, we provide, we could do worldwide. Mm-hmm. But how can you focus your social media marketing down to, let's say, a regional? Can you do that? To, let's say, Orange County, that kind of a thing?
Yes, you can. Actually, well, the good news with oGoing is, it's born in Orange County. so a lot of our, businesses are local, and which is the best part. Around, as I said, our community reaches out to 10,000 plus small businesses. I would say about 70% are local. So a lot of what you share here will be shared locally for sure. But when you create your profile, and when you say what city you belong to within Orange County, what happens is, so whenever you're sharing the updates, we have a solution where, automatically your updates are added into the Orange County, area of oGoing. So everybody can just quickly go there and scan, what's really going on in Orange County. But that's oGoing's, solution to staying local and providing the local exposure. Some of the bigger networks like Facebooks of the world and Twitter and LinkedIn and so on, they also provide some tools nowadays. When you share your update, especially on your business page or the brand page, you can limit, as to where that update or should appear. You can even limit it down all the way to a zip code, if you may, or even a city. And then what happens is only your connections that you have in that particular area will see that update. Actually, I think Facebook probably has the most sophistication in that category right now outside of oGoing. Twitter is also doing some of that now. But ultimately, that is the big problem, because when you are a small business and you are saying something and whatever you're saying is getting lost in the big ocean.
Right.
Then what happens is, your business is next door, but, somebody is hearing you overseas, and I don't think that really helps. And that's kind of why we designed oGoing, to really cater to local small businesses.
Yeah, and I'm beginning, it really works. I say, on my, as I do the voiceover thing, DJ has voiceovers and stuff on that. And, I've had a lot of response with that. Right. And from Riverside and LA and Orange County, I haven't had a whole lot outside that yet, but I'm just focusing in the Southern California area. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's a good point. I mean, the other day, it's an interesting story. So a lady tries to sign up on oGoing, and she tells me that I think I was signing it up, and somehow your site is doing a lot of spam or some malware and stuff like that. I'm like, wait a moment, I don't think that can be oGoing. She's saying suddenly her computer was completely messed up. So immediately what I did is I did thorough checks of oGoing from external, malware services that completely gave us a clean, there's nothing on it. Mm-hmm. And I took screenshots of that and emailed it to her saying, look, we are as clean as a whistle. And she appreciated that. She said, oh, okay, I know now it's not you. Not only that, I said, look, I can see that you tried using your iPhone when you were trying to log into oGoing. did you know that we have a dedicated iPhone app? And she didn't know that. So I said, why don't you download that? So she did. And I was really happy that then she was able to complete her profile, and now she's a user on oGoing. And then we even promoted her the very moment she joined. Now, the question she had is, well, I'm in a certain area of Los Angeles County. Are there businesses here? And I said, yeah, we have a few, but, that's part of the thing that we are doing. We're trying to grow out our platform, so obviously we're going to, have more businesses that can interact with her in the very near future. But by the same token, I also offered her that we are connected on many other networks. I can help you promote your business to all these other networks. You just tell me what you want to promote and we'll do it for you. So that's kind of what we do. And that we'll do it for free because I want to make sure she's successful first, where she's happy with, what we are all about. And then hopefully if she enjoys this service, then she'll come back and, spend more time on oGoing.
Well, the one thing I'm finding about social media is it also sort of acts like a watchdog, because you better have a good product, you better have a good service, because now you have these other sites like Yelp and Pinterest that can kill you.
Right. No, that's a very good point. I mean, Yelp is doing really well. And I would say Yelp's bread and butter is still, the foods, the restaurants, your local, places that you go and shop, the retail. With oGoing, our focus is definitely kind of on the B2B side. So I think that helps us, stay focused on what we want to do. So, so whereas Yelp is a lot more business to consumer, we are a lot more business to business. So that's actually a good compliment. And then, Pinterest, Instagram, I think they are great visual networks. I mean, actually, we're always learning. We're always looking at seeing what others are doing well. And we're always saying, well, what if we do a little bit of that? Would that add value to our customers? We don't want to blatantly copy them. That's not part of what we want to do. But we also want to say, well, if something is working well for the same kind of owners, then, and if it's something that we can offer, which will add value to our network, why not? So we're always learning. We don't want to become irrelevant. I hear what you're saying, Ernie. So our goal is to always stay a little bit ahead, a little half a step ahead of the competition.
So you have your social media site, and you want people to go to your website. So it all works together. I mean, the website, the social media. So when clients or potential clients will come to your website, they have to come to a site that works, that looks good, that has the information they need, and quickly.
Exactly. I mean, that was the other epiphany I had and that happened about a year and a half ago, because before oGoing.com used to be like, just like a sign-up page where you go in, like a Facebook sign-up page. You know how Facebook and Twitter sign-up pages are. So you go in and all you can really do is sign into your account or start a new account. And I said, wait a moment, what's wrong with this picture? I want to promote every update that a small business shares. I want to make sure that whatever they share is right there for everybody to see. And that was the epiphany. I said, look, I got to change it where I got to put everything right there, in the center. And I said, look, initially everybody was, it won't look good. I said, no. We want to see and we want to share it. I think once businesses see that, they're going to get even more excited to share, because they will say, oh, wow, I just posted and look, it's right there on the oGoing.com site. And hopefully they'll tell, their friends or contacts. And that's what we want to do. And we want to do more of that.
Good. Well, this has been a good show. Thank you, Sanjay, for being here with us. And any comments?
Well, yeah, I learned a lot. I've been to a lot of his workshops. So, you have to learn how to, because I think social media marketing is probably actually the first step a business should go to when they're trying to promote their business, especially if you're like me that can't sell.
That's
well, he does a pretty good job at it.
He does a pretty good job. And one of the things I would like to add is that we do have services, which are very nominal for businesses. It starts at like $39 a month. $39 a month, where we can actually help promote you not just on oGoing.com but also on our connected social networks for a very small fee, and a lot of businesses are signing up now. We call it the oGoing Pro service. Okay. Again, it's optional, but I think for businesses like Ernie's business, where he doesn't have all the time, if you may, we are more than happy to help him and do a little more with his
Right.
businesses like his. Yeah.
Right. And it's working. Thank you very much for being here, talking to us about small business social media marketing. It's a whole different world out there right now, and it's not your dad's way of marketing. It's a whole new way of doing it. Gone are the flyers and standing outside and handing out pamphlets and stuff. You can do it online.
Yeah.
With a cup of coffee in your pajamas.
Okay, Sanjay, thank you for being here. That was Sanjay Dalal, founder and CEO of oGoing.com.
And thank you for tuning in to Mind the Business with Darwin
and Ernie.
And we'll see you next time.
Mind the Business is a Skyline MediaCast production in association with Taylor Pacific Video. Your hosts have been Darwin Strong and Ernie Castello. Produced by Suzanne Strong. Executive producer John Reynolds. Please visit our website at skylinemediacast.com and then click on radio.